What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Today we're looking at Top Key Comics for November. That's right, this month, right now, 2021. These are 10 comics that have been moving on the market, whether that's increase in value, but more importantly, units on the market. So these books have absolutely been flying off the so-called shelves of the secondary market, or even some of them, if they're new releases, the primary market. So we're going to take an in-depth look at these books today. Before we do so, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Of course, check out all the awesome links below, including the links to today's sponsor, popculturezone.com. Before we get into the books, we're going to take just a few seconds to talk about popculturezone.com. Popculturezone.com is an online shop focusing on hot new comics, including exclusive and incentive variants, CGC graded comics, and tons of other inventory, including pop culture toys and other collectibles, all at low and competitive prices. PopCultureZone.com ships all over the US, and if you are buying raw comics, they offer flat rate shipping of only $4.99. That's right, $4.99. Absolute craziness, right? And there's no taxes included, excluding New Jersey. Pop Culture Zone is also on eBay, where they hold a 100% positive feedback rating with over 8,000 completed transactions for this year alone. Make sure to check out the link to their website below, as well as their eBay link, so be sure to give them a follow there as well. All right, everyone, so as we get into these books, you are going to see a trend. The lower we get on the list, the higher the upward trend in value for some of these books. All right, so the first book coming in at number 10, Earth 2, number 19. This is the first appearance of Val Zod. Now, you're going to look, probably your eyes are already looking at that 49% downward trend in red. Okay, I'm going to talk about that, but let's just give a little context, folks. So earlier this year, we heard that Michael B. Jordan would be directing an HBO Max project surrounding Val Zod. Well, we recently, just this last month, confirmed that there are writers on board. So that's pushed this book back onto, you know, the spec list, the hot list. So people are buying up this book again, and that's why it's on this list. Now, if you look at the recent CGC 9.8 high sale, it's sitting at $300. That is a downward trend, though, of 49%. So basically, when we got those early announcements earlier this year, this book in a 9.8 was selling for around $450 rough fair market value. So it's still at a much lower price right now. So again, when I do these videos, folks, I'm not here to tell you to go out and buy these books. You always know that I say, think for yourself, do your homework, do your due diligence. If you're not willing to take the risk, or if you don't have love for the books, maybe they're not for you. But if someone was to ask me if this is a good time to buy this book, well, here's the thing. It is down much lower than where it was when we got initial announcements that this project was coming to fruition. So essentially, you can assume that this is a decent time to buy the book, because you're still getting them at a lower price than where they were a few months ago. Now, if this price is going to hold, that's another question. Being that the units are moving again, that means the demand is going up. And usually when demand goes up, supply dwindles, and that drives the price up. Basic economics, supply and demand, right? So, you know, I'm sure as this project comes along, we don't know if this is going to be a series, if it's going to be a full-length feature film. When that happens and we get more announcements, I'm going to assume that this book is going to continue to go on an upward trend in terms of units being sold and value. So again, nobody could tell the future, and we don't know exactly what the time frame is for this project. This price could definitely stagnate. It might fall off a little more. Again, though, here's my tip. Recent high raw sold for $114. If you are in the market to buy this book, look for high grade raws, and I would take the risk of getting them pressed and cleaned and sending them to CGC or CBCS or EGS, whatever company, if you want to get them slab, and hoping that they come back at 9.8. Because again, this is just me. It's just me. especially with modern books, I'm very hesitant to spending that type of money for a 9.8 graded books, especially knowing that I have trouble with the subjectiveness of the grading industry. All right, so let's move on to book number 9, and we have Eternals number 1. Yeah, this book is on this list still. Obviously, first appearance of Eternals, and again another book where the fair market value has a downward trend, not by much. Recent CGC 9.8 sale was $2,100. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that one of the record sales, earlier this year was around 3,400. I know it was in the 3,000s. But when you take in recent fair market value and take in averages, I don't like looking at just one outlier. When you look at the recent fair market value, that downward trend is at about 17%. All right. We still had a recent high raw sale for over 2,000 too. So, I don't know what the case that could be I don't know the specifics. It could be a 30-cent price variant of the book. I don't know. But here's the thing with this book. Obviously, the movie's been out for, a good few days now, and almost a week. And there's been a lot of good reception, but then there's been a lot of negative reception. I saw the film. To be quite honest, was very disappointed in it. I think it had so much potential, but this isn't an Eternals review, so I'm not gonna even go there. But do I think that movie is going to fail the Eternals in terms of their future in the MCU and what the key Eternal books are going to do? I don't. I think there is still a bright future that's going to really, keep at least some of the main Eternals characters on board in the MCU for many projects to come. I think that the actors are fine and the characters have a great opportunity to redeem themselves in the future. And I think that's going to keep people looking at these books. But I will say this, folks. I do believe this book is going to have more of a downward trend. I do. I think this price is going to continue to drop off some. Again, look, I'm not one of those doom and glooms. I don't think this book is ever going to go down to where it was prior to us learning about an Eternals film. But where that new floor is going to sit, I don't know. So I would be very, very cautious with this book right now. I think if you're in the market to buy, I would probably really wait till it comes out on Disney Plus and on Blu-ray and whatnot, and see what the book's doing then. And then just be patient. Be patient. Always says patience usually pays off. All right, book number 8. We have Strange Tales number 179. Now, if you haven't seen the Eternals movie, there's a little bit of a spoiler here. So if you don't want to be spoiled, either mute this part of the video or, turn it off, come back after you watch Eternals. This is the first appearance of Pip the Troll. And again, maybe not too big of a spoiler, but we did get Pip the Troll in the end credits scene. And I'm super hyped about this. The end credit scenes were awesome, in my humble opinion, for the Eternals film. To see Pip the Troll was great for one reason. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But let's look at these numbers. Recent CGC 9.6 sale, $850. An upward trend, 0%. So basically, this book has been basically staying the same. I think with more people seeing the film, Eternals film, and the word getting around that Pip does finally show up in the MCU and an end credit scene, I think this book has a great possibility of, increasing in value here. I know that when I made this video, there was 4 books on the Mercari app that sold within a matter of hours. So recent high raw sold for $214. I do believe that was a Mercari sale, actually. Now, here's my thing with this. Pip the Troll. You guys know me, and I'm always circling back to the Infinity Watch. Pip, for those that don't know, Pip the Troll was one of the Infinity Watch members. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm getting at. All right, that's just me fanboying over Infinity Watch. Let's move on to book number 7, folks. we have Amazing Spider-Man number 194, first appearance of the Black Cat, one of my favorite Spider-Man books. I mean, you guys know me, Spider-Man's my all-time favorite, and I have a lot of favorite Spider-Man books. Let's look at these numbers and then we'll talk about why this book is on the list. Record high, a record high CGC 8.0 sale, $460. Upward trend of 15% with a recent high raw of 1,249. And again, folks, this could be an outlier. I don't have the details of that high raw book, but it is a black cover, probably very hard to find in high grade. So again, take that with a grain of salt, though. But the thing around this book is that, I mean, we already had rumors, and then again, focus on that word rumor. The Black Cat might possibly show up in a Sony project. There is rumors that there could be a team project that features, female leads such as Black Cat and Silk, or any one of the Spider Women. Again, we don't know. This is all rumor. But what's pushed this book up this month is that if you guys saw the Morbius trailer, there is an Easter egg. There was a newspaper that said that you can read. It said Black Cat, friend or foe. So I look at it a few ways. Sony has the rights to these characters, so they could just be dropping these Easter eggs just to show you, like, hey, look, we own them. They're in this universe, and we want to make plans to utilize them and make money off of them everywhere we can. Does it mean they actually have something in the works right now or something planned? It doesn't, but hey, I think it's really cool that they're dropping these things, right? And I think this book is overall a great in long-term investment regardless. So I would say this one, again, I'm not telling you guys to buy anything, but I think whether or not this character shows up in a Sony film or crosses over in the MCU, it doesn't matter. This is an iconic character that this book is going to hold long-term value. I do think it's probably better to get your hands on this book rather than later if you're in the market for it. But again, be patient. And look, you don't have to seek out high grades. This is a 40-cent Bronze Age book. I have it's a raw book. I've had it since I was a kid. It's really beat up. I don't think it would get better than a 3.5, to be quite honest. But I'm happy with it. And when you look at return on investments, you're not going to be putting out as much to invest in a lower grade, but when you look at percentages of return on investment, it still has the potential to increase that same type of percentage that a higher grade does. All right, shout out to Swaggle House Comics for making a video touching on those things. I did this video a couple months ago on how percentage-wise in return on investment, lower grade and mid-grade comics are still solid, right? All right, moving on to the next book. Number 6, we have Werewolf by Night, number 1, the 2020 series. This is the first appearance of Jake Gomez. A lot of you probably already know why this book is on this list. Let's look at these numbers. Recent high, CGC 9.8, sold for $250. That's a little lower. I think one hit, I don't know, 250, 259, somewhere like right around there. But over the recent fair market value, it's still an upward trend of 19%, all right, with a recent high raw for $55. So The Wire recently scooped a casting report claiming that it was an exclusive, but yet there's still no public source that the lead has been casted for the Disney Plus Halloween special, and the rumors are that it is for a werewolf type character. So that's why people are looking at this book, and they're really thinking that Jake Gomez, if a Werewolf by Night character is going to show up, he's going to be the one. All right, let's move on to number 5. Oh man, another one of my favorites, Amazing Spider-Man 101. I'm sure we can understand why this book's on the list. First appearance of Morbius the Living Vampire. Ironically enough, I just finally got my hands on this book. It's definitely a lower grade, but definitely a grail for me. Look at these numbers, folks. We had a record high CGC 7.5 sale for $1,499. It's upward trend of 33%. Recent high raw, though, $2,500. Again, Oh man, I don't know the details around that high raw sale, but it had to be a decently high grade for sure. So, what's going on with this book? Well, guys, with however many pushbacks, we're finally, fingers crossed, getting the Morbius film early next year. We got the second trailer. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing to me. I think Jared Leto is going to do an amazing job, and I really have faith in this film. I do. That's all I'll say about that. Moving on, book number 4, some boom. House of Slaughter, folks. I talked about this in the top 10 last week, and I said 2 words, 1 name, and that's Tynion. Tynion is just doing amazing things, and we had this book booming when the pre-sales went up, and the preview sales went up. Now with its release, we had the Virgin variant and the foil variant in the top 10 last week, and cover A has definitely been moving. Obviously, it's look, you can see the recent high right here, $6. So it's not even, hopefully it's at the time of making this video, you guys could go even find this online for hopefully under $10. But it's just this right here being on this list tells me that people are telling good stories, and readers and collectors want good stories, and that's what's happening. We see it with the horror genre that's booming right now, pun intended. It's booming in the comic book market right now. Boom has had a good amount of those titles. I'm currently reading Proctor Valley Road. We know what Something's Killing the Children's done. We know what Nice House on the Lake has done for DC Black Label. So just a lot of amazing things going on, and I think this is going to be an amazing, solid run right here. So very happy to see this book make this list. All right, folks, we have 3 more books to go, but before we get into the top 3, I want to remind you all that if you are in need of comic book supplies, check out BCW's link below. You can use the code JOURNOS and receive 10% off of your order. And we know that, supplies are decently costly right now with everything going on in the world, folks. So check them out if you need anything. I stand by BCW products. 90% of my products are BCW. You can use this code as many times as you want. It does not expire for small orders, big orders. It doesn't matter. So use the code JOURNOS. The link's below. BCWsupplies.com. 10% off of your order. All right, folks. Top 3. Book number 3 is Marvel Premiere number 10. This book has been getting some heat. It is moving units again. It's the first appearance of Shuma Gorath, and recent CGC 7.5 had a record high of $475. Solid, right? That's an upward trend of 102%. So basically, it's double the recent fair market value for that grade. A recent high Russell for $575. So there is a lot of rumors that Gorath is gonna show up in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I know there was some casting rumors of a certain type of character that fits the description of Gorath. So we shall see what happens. But this is, for me, I don't own this book, and this is one of those books that I've been very patient on, because it's an interesting time where if we do get the character, this book can bump. But I'm at the point where if it's not a value or a price that I feel comfortable with paying, I'm just going to wait, because you never know, you don't know if these types of characters are one-offs or if they're really going to make their name in the MCU and stick around or really appeal to fans that much to where that value, once you get a casting, you get a trailer, you get them, they're in the movie, where the prices go up, could definitely cool off some. So we shall see. All right, book number 2, Avengers 232. Most of you know why this book is on this list. First appearance of Arrows as Star Fox. A record high CGC 9.8 sale, folks, $750. Upward trend of 275%. In a recent high raw of $100. What are my thoughts? What are my thoughts on this book right now? Honestly, I don't know, folks. I think ultimately you missed the boat. You know, this was not necessarily a dollar book, but it was a standard back issue book where you could find a decent high mid grade for $3-4 for a long time. And I do think those days are done. There's a lot of attention on the character. And of course, this is his first appearance as Star Fox, which I think will be relevant, in the MCU in the future with these characters in development. But will it hold this value, especially in a 9.8? I'm very hesitant. And again, you guys know how I feel with 9.8 grades. So be very careful with this book. I wouldn't buy this book even in a lower grade slab unless it was like under current fair market value right now. But I mean, this character could really be one that, again, sticks in the minds of collectors and fans, especially moviegoers, and say that this is a character that we love and we're going to remember. So I don't know, folks. I can't predict the future with this one, but I think the train has definitely left the station, so to say. All right, everyone. With that being said, we got one more book. One more book. And what could it be? DC coming home with the steal, folks. I know this was Marvel heavy because of just the MCU in general, but Wonder Woman Black and Gold number 5 doing things. This is the 1-25 Rose Besh variant. This book has been on fire, and I can't blame you. Look, I love all of the Wonder Woman Black and Gold covers. I've been buying every book, usually the cover B variant. I do believe I have a couple of the cover A's. I sent off my number 1 to get graded by EGS. If you guys aren't aware of EGS, there are links below as well. Grading alternative to the big 2. It's a beauty with a custom black and gold label. Came back a 9.8. So the recent high raw of this sold for $232, which is an upward trend of 373%. I believe when this was first put out on the market, the books were selling for somewhere around $40. So this book has been absolutely in demand, and it is absolutely a beautiful cover. I'm not a big cartoony type art lover when it comes to comic books, but I absolutely love this one. I love that it portrays Wonder Woman with a different body type, so to say. I'll leave it at that. I love the form, and I absolutely love the look on the face, and then how they implemented the gold on the uniform, in the eyes. It's absolutely beautiful to me. It's a well balanced piece of art. You get those pieces of realism in there, but it still has that unique sort of exaggerated anime type of vibe, so to say. So very happy to see some DC books moving. So again, November, we still got a good amount of the month left, but these are 10 books that have been moving, and whether that means it's a good time to buy or speculate on them or not, that's really up to all of you and what you feel comfortable with, or how you guys enjoy collecting. Like I said, man, I'm just here reporting on the books that are moving. I want to hear what you all thought of these books in the comments below. Let me know if you have any of these in your collection, if you picked up any of them recently, or if you have your eyes set on them. But of course, before we go, folks, I have to give a big shout out to all of my wonderful channel members. First and foremost, my Patreon members. Thank you all so much. Congrats to Shelby for winning the most recent Patreon-only contest, taking home the CGC 8.0 Tales to Astonish 91 first cover appearance and second overall appearance of Abomination. It's an 8.0 white page beauty. So Shelby, congratulations. I will be getting that book out to you real soon. If anyone else is interested in supporting the channel via Patreon, it's only $3.99 a month, and that link is below. I take all of my earnings and put back into this channel one way or another. But also, thank you to all of my YouTube channel members. If you're interested in supporting that way, that's only $1.99 a month. You do get perks with this membership as well, including early access to videos. I do run some small contests for my YouTube supporters as well. And I just want to give a big shout out to all the new ones over this last about week or so. Ariel Red, Azorus, big shout out to Azorus. If you're not, he's another content creator. If you're not following his channel, I recommend you do so. Go Jax, Jackets, Goonish Lurker, Matt Lemno, Michael May. You all are new over this last week or so. So I want to thank you all so much for joining. And again, to all of my viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for helping support each and every day just by coming, hanging out, watching the videos, clicking the like or the dislike, leave us some comments, and hanging out, talking about the thing that we love. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, thank you to today's sponsor, PopCultureZone.com. Don't forget to check out their website below and their eBay store. Give them a follow. Peace.